Hello, everyone. After that inspiring session from Nick, what I was going to talk about is we are a technology company. So we're very different to the exploration companies that I've heard till now, which are out here. So we are trying to emulate some of those success that CIML has got. And we are coming way out from Cambridge. So we are a company that is based in Cambridge and doing business in Kazakhstan. And I'm going to talk a bit around what we do, what are the opportunities that we see in the Kazakhstan mining industry, primarily where technology can deliver value to the industry. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. So that's the agenda. We're going to talk a bit around some of the call to action, because I think there is a lot of opportunity there where technology can make a meaningful impact. And companies in the UK primarily can have a definitive impact on the industry. And we will show you what we have done to date as well. So a bit about the company. So we decided to do business in two different hemispheres. So living in Cambridge, we are half the time our team is on the plains. So we do a lot of business in Chile, we do a lot of business in Kazakhstan, which means we actually have been working a lot in the copper market. So copper and uranium are the two main markets that we have worked in. And what we are trying to do is bring in the modern technologies of AI, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence into the mining industry. And the idea is to help the industry to move beyond this boom and bust cycle that you get. And how can technology help in ensuring that you don't go into the peaks and troughs? And that's what we are all about. So we do a lot of work with the majors, as mentioned there. And actually, there has been a massive learning for ourselves as well as our counterparties on what these technologies can actually deliver for the mining operations. So we've got three types of expertise we bring to the industry. We've got data science, we've got software engineering, and of course, we've got the mining industry experience that we bring to the table. And as mentioned there, we came out of the university, so we got a lot of technology that was deployed in the manufacturing industry that we are now translating into the mining industry. So what do you do? So if you see this nice graphic, what it shows here is what you say is the things, which is the entire mining operation from pit to port is actually consists of major assets that it has. And after that, what you get is a bunch of instrumentation that you typically have, which is the sensors and connectivity that you get. Now, what we are doing is we are taking all that data that the industry generates, and we are trying to use that data to drive them, to help them to make better decisions. So it's all about decision making, which is more real-time decision making. And one of the things when we came out of the manufacturing industry, we found is a lot of the decisions that are being made are actually based on models that were done when the system or the plant was set up. Now, when you are dealing with a real-time operation, which has a geological risk, which is the inherent risk that changes every hour, that is not the way to make decisions. So what we are trying to do is bring in a real-time decision-making platform operationally that can take care of all the assets that you have, all the data that you have, and use that to make it better. Now, how do you predict better? That's what we are all about. So why are we relevant? Now, this is a very interesting graph. So this is a graph from McKinsey that talks about, you can see the amount of data that the industry collects today, sensor data, less than 1% is actually used. So all this data is basically sitting there. It's sitting there in server farms all around. And half of them are actually thrown off after 24 months, and the rest of it is actually never used for anything. So what we are trying to do is use the existing instrumentation that most of the operations have and use that to deliver, make better decisions for them. So why is it relevant for the Kazakhstan mining industry? Now, we worked in Kazatomprom around 3 years back, actually, and it's a highly instrumented operation. But one of the things we were amazed to see, most of the decisions were still being made based on manual paperwork. And that is amazing for us when you already have the data, have the sensor information being collected, and it's not being used. So you can see in the country, you've got around 220 odd mining enterprises. You can see the productivity decline that is happening in the industry. Of course, as you heard from Simon, mining has a massive contribution to the new code. But what we are finding is there is a major productivity lack that is going on, but actually it is also driven by the people, because there is a lot of upskilling that needs to be done. And that, we believe, is one of the key drivers that will improve the efficiency of the sector. So we do a lot of work in Chile, which, as you can, is a massive copper market, and it's much more advanced, I would say, than a lot of the other markets that we have seen. But it's amazing to see even Chilean copper operations have so much productivity available that can be improved on. So that's one of the things why we are quite relevant in the market. So what's the technology needs for the industry? Now, we ended up doing a joint venture with the local National Innovation Agency this year. And one of the reasons they did this joint venture was there was a whole interest from the government there to bring in modern technology. And people who are doing business in the country might have heard about the entire Industry 4.0 initiative that is being driven by the president. So that's one of the biggest drivers that we see that is going to move the industry from the traditional, more archaic 70s and 80s technology to a much more modern, sensor-driven decision-making platform. So there are a few trends that we have seen there. So there is a lot of work in smart mine that is going on. We have worked in Kazatomprom on one of their green mine projects, which was very interesting. But most of the times, people are actually looking for solutions which has got low capex, which is always a conundrum when you're trying to bring an operation which was built in the Soviet era up to the modern era. How can you do it without any capex? And that's one of the challenges that technology companies like ours face when you go in. And that's some of the things that we are addressing with the government and with their tax laws as well. But one of the most important things I want to highlight in this slide is people. So I think one of the things there is a tendency that automation will come and take jobs, and one of the things I want to highlight here is actually people and machines, or people and automation together needs to work, because there is a lot of IP that is sitting with people who have been operating the same equipment for 20, 30 years, and our models or our automation cannot handle that. They need that history. So we are a firm believer that it's all about people and assets, or people and machines working together in order to deliver the productivity challenges that we have. So what do you do? I mean, this is a bit of shameless plug on our company. We effectively are a technology platform company. So we have three core things that we deliver. We deliver what we call a real-time decision-making platform, which I was talking about, which takes in all the sensor data. It has all the advanced AI models that it uses to predict a process performance and what is the right decision to take to optimize that. One of the other things we also do is we deploy what is called a wireless mesh network, and that has been quite popular in Kazakhstan because there are a lot of operations which doesn't have any fixed wired connectivity. So in that case, a low-cost wireless mesh network can be really helpful to acquire data out from 50-100 kilometer radius. And finally, we actually provide this platform to deliver what we call optimization. So it's all about real-time optimization, which is what we deliver as a company. These are some of the applications that we have been deploying in various markets across the world. And this is a nice graphic. It's kind of a 101, which talks about the pit to port. So this is our vision. We try to track materials right from the pit all the way before it ships out. And what we are trying to do or bring to the industry is this objective of geometallurgical way of optimizing operations. So these are a bunch of applications that we have got live across the world, and these are some of the things that we are currently working on as well. Finally, call to action for the industry. We really want to put forward that you should look at technology that can be a competitive differentiator. So dollar per ton, which is what every general manager is focused on. How can technology help you to achieve that target that you have? We also want to point out that people and machines, so it's all about training, it's all about upskilling people with these modern technologies, with this new information that they have, so they can make better decisions. And finally, there is a major opportunity that technology companies like ours can, as well as other tech companies, can actually make a measurable impact on the mining industry. And this is all about yield and productivity. That's what we are all about improving. So thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.